We're centering really on the topic of wandering, elopement, which is so important to parents with children with autism, because many of our children do it. I don't know if there are any statistics, but it's got to be high.
Percentages, and I know that both of us have children on the spectrum that at one point were elopers.
Yes.
And so we've experienced this firsthand, how stressful it can be, and
also just keeping your child safe in a crowd, maybe where your child might not be a bolter or an eloper, but you know, they might have a tendency to wander off, and if they're nonverbal, that can be a real problem, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And we have a really special guest with us that's going to join us via Skype right here at the top of the show.
Yes. We have Matt Holmquist.
Yes.
Matt, are you there?
I am. Hi, thank you for having me on.
Hi, Matt.
Thank you for being here with us.
Yeah, I met you at an autism conference in Anaheim, and I saw your great product and was very intrigued by it, and I'm really happy you're here to share it with us on the show. Where are we speaking with you today?
I'm in Minnesota.
Okay. All right, well, tell us, Matt, about, like so many parents that come up with an idea to service the autism population, your idea does come from personal experience. Can you tell us about that?
Well, my wife and I, kind of going back, we adopted a little boy at birth. And about the age of 2, we ended up adopting another boy who is about 4 months apart in age from our first son. And at that time, when we adopted the other boy, he was from Haiti, there are some tendencies that a 2-year-old should have had that our first son didn't have, and some other unique features about him that caused us to have some concerns or questions. So we started looking into it, and it turned out he was diagnosed to have autism at that point. And not much later, he began eloping and bolting. He left the safety of our own home, wandered down to a neighbor's house, which is just about a half a block down, and which is a lake property. And so we found him and his little brother as well down at that lake property, and that just caused a big concern of ours that, okay, we started looking into that and found the alarming number of children with autism that tend to wander. After that point, he'd tend to wander a couple other times in public settings and again from our own house. So we started looking into ways to try to find out how can we safeguard against this, and what if it happens again. We looked into as many alternatives as we could.
Did you find there wasn't a lot out there at the time to help children with this issue?
Right. And this was a couple years ago. We looked into the tracking devices that are there. We looked into other ID bracelets. We put a fence up, the door alarms. We tried whatever we could. And we tended to have something with one or the other. Like some of the GPS tracking isn't offered in our area. We're in a rural part of Minnesota. The medical ID bracelets that are out there offer very limited information. You can put just a few lines of information, and it's not kept private. Anyone, a stranger, could look at that person's wrist and see a name or phone number or something. So we wanted to keep it a little more private, discreet, but also offer more information. That was currently being offered at the time.
And so they say that necessity is the mother of invention. And what did you finally invent?
Well, a few years before that, my brother-in-law introduced me to QR codes. And I was fascinated with the amount of information you could get from just a little square inch. And so what we tried to do is develop our own QR code that we could put on a bracelet. And we were looking online for those, and those weren't being offered anywhere.
Now, can you explain what QR code means?
Yes.
QR code, QR stands for quick response, and it's a bunch of little black and white tiny boxes inside of basically about a square inch. And when you scan it with a smartphone, it'll bring you directly to your web page or text information.
Oh, it's those things on all the advertisements.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know that's what they were called.
I didn't either. See, we get such education,
Okay.
Shannon,
all right.
on the show.
And this can help our kids. Tell me more.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you see our son who has his medical ID bracelet on and it says medical ID and there's a QR code, anyone with a smartphone, whether it's a first responder, a caring citizen, or whoever, your neighbor, they scan it and they're going to get your web page. We designed it with the autism child in mind. It can be used for all other purposes as well, but it allows you to put information that we felt was important to us if somebody found our son. So
Wow.
the typical, you can have multiple emergency contact names and numbers, ways to reach them. It allows, one thing that was important to us is calming techniques. Like our son loves the ABCs, so a calming technique would be sing him the ABCs to keep him calm, give us a call, and that way he's calm and doesn't bolt until we're able to come get him.
That's a brilliant idea. So many of our children do have these rituals and routines that if, even if a stranger were to use them, they would instantly feel they were in the hands of they were in a safe place with friends, and know that mommy and daddy are on the way. So came up with this idea, and I understand there's also the fabric. Your son had a problem initially keeping this on, so you further developed a sensory approach to this and developed something that would help with that. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, we, like I said, we used our son more or less as a guinea pig to kind of figure out what works for him, what he would keep on, and went through trial and error. We found that the QR code worked great as far as the needs that we saw fit, but he wouldn't keep it on. Just like most children with autism they get irritated by some things easily. So one of the things, and I've got some of them here, if you can see this, it's just a minky, it's a sleeve made of a minky material, very soft, fuzzy, and our son loved this feel. And this was the only thing that he basically used it as a security blanket. So my wife created this, developed it, and we put it around the bracelet. We patented the sleeve, and now he uses it as a security blanket. He doesn't want to take it off. He loves it. It doesn't really lock it in place. He's smart. He can get out of it if he wanted to. But the fact is that he loves the feel of it, and he wants to keep it on. And oftentimes he'll want to keep one on each wrist.
Well, that's great.
Very cool.
So you went about developing this, and now you do have this available for the public.
Yep.
And how can they obtain, what's the basic cost, and where can they get it?
Well, when we started out, we invested a lot into the website. We developed an automated system where we developed the QR code for you. We host your web page, but you have full access to it 24/7. If your phone numbers change, if the calming techniques change, if your doctor's information changes, any of that, you can change it at any point. And that's part of our membership. Since we launched, we've lowered our price dramatically. Right now, for a lifetime membership, a bracelet and a sleeve, it's $50 for all of that.
Okay.
You can buy additional sleeves and bracelets as well.
Okay, great.
And
now,
how
do we
do people
have,
get it?
Yeah, how do they get it? Do we have website information?
Sure. Yep. Simply go to our webpage. It's www.keepmesafeid.com.
We have it up right here.
Yep.
All right, and then just click on, you can read some of the information, hear a little bit more about our story, but you can click on the product and see, get a better idea of what they look like and the styles and colors that are available right now.
Okay.
And one other thing I'd like to mention, we currently offer, it's not on our webpage right now, but we do offer shoe tags and stickers, and we can pretty much offer anything you can put a QR code on. But we're working on getting those on our website shortly, so hopefully those will be on soon. But if you're interested in a shoe tag or a sticker as part of it or separate, just let us know and we can work with you on that too.
Okay, so if a child really sensory can't do the rest, they could do a shoe tag.
All right, very good. Well, Matt, first of all, what's your son's name?
Hudson.
Okay, and your wife? Your wife's
What's
name?
that?
What's your wife's name?
Laura.
Laura. Well, certainly Laura and Hudson have been a big part of this entrepreneurial venture, and I just want to congratulate you for taking a problem that your family had, seeing a need in the autism community, and creating something that's really going to help a lot of families.
Absolutely.
And-
And Matt, you had mentioned that there was something that you're looking to get some likes on your Facebook. Tell us what you would like our viewers to do.
Yep. As part of this, the Autism Live, the webinar that we're doing, we want to offer one free bracelet membership to one of your viewers. All they have to do is visit our Facebook page. They can look us up at Keep Me Safe IDs, and then just like our page and mention the Autism Live show, and we will put your name in a drawing for a free membership and bracelet.
Great.
Okay. And I'd like to announce that you and I are working on solidifying a relationship that you're going to be part of our safety program at Autism Care and Treatment Today, which we do have a safety fund. And as part of that safety fund, we put in fencing at homes and where there's access to tracking devices through the local sheriffs and whatever, we provide that. But I think this is going to be a great addition to that. So we're going to be talking shortly after this webcast, and families will be able to have access through a grant, along with some other things. Let's say they want a fence around their home, and a Keep Me Safe ID will come with that package. So we're going to set that up with you, and I want to thank you for offering to work with us to help many families out there that cannot access or afford treatment.
Sure, and if I could mention one more thing that goes along with that, any of our members, if you have our membership on your webpage, you can list all that information, but you can also upload a picture of your child. We recommend and strongly recommend that you print that page off and bring it to your local police department so they have a record of it. So if your child were to bolt or wander, you can call them, and they're going to have a picture, description, calming techniques, all that at their fingertips.
It's a great idea.
Great idea.
Absolutely.
And we're actually going to, our next segment, we're going to talk about some recent cases of wandering and elopement and their outcome. Some of them, most of them positive, some of them not, tragic. And this is certainly an issue that all families with children with autism need to be aware of. And even if they don't bolt or wander, we need to make sure our children are safe and can be easily identified, particularly for the nonverbal children. So I would encourage this bracelet for families, even if their child does not have a history of elopement or wandering, because sometimes, airports, busy, festivals, things like this, it is easy to get separated from your child.
Absolutely is. It absolutely is. Matt, thank you so much for the work that you're doing and for taking the time to be with us today.
Well, thank you again.
All right, we'll be talking to you soon, Matt.
Take
All right,
care.
bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.